Welcome back again after a long time of stopping. Not for reading, but just for that you were having your quarter exam. Today we are going to start our final quarter, which is quarter 4, by studying starting with Unit 5. You'll find it in your course book, the second volume, or the second part, page 542. Page 542. Journeys of transformation. Let's first discuss the meaning of this unit and give you a little introduction about the main topics or the main texts that you are going to choose to study in this unit. Journeys of transformation. First, let me ask about the word journey, or think about, because I can ask because you will not answer. Journeys here. Maybe the first thing that will come to your mind, that journey, it's like a trip you do in a place or anywhere in order to get some fun, to entertain yourself. And that's right, yes, journey could mean that. But here, if we just try to join the name of the unit with the pictures that we can see it here, or the image of the unit, we would discover that yes, it's like someone, or a girl or a woman, whatever, going through a way or a road, and it seems that it's too long. As you can see, you cannot detect its end, and surrounded by empty place, and no one is with her at all. So it seems that the journey is connected to this character only. It's her journey, but not the journey where she's seeking some kind of fun, or she's seeking the entertainment. This is the journey of her life. Through your life, you go through different journeys, and we decide the beginning and the end of the journey by or we detect them by the new status you move from and you move to. Like, for example, of course, some of you were in another school before coming to our school here, the International Modern School. And when this person was in this old school, he had people who were surrounding him. He had his life there, his community, his networking, his style of living. And when he moved to this school here, he started a new phase in his life, because he is moving to another different community, another different networking people. To some extent, maybe they are the first time for him to see them. Different way of learning and studying, different curriculum. The exams are totally different, so it's a totally new experience. And that new experiences make a change in our life. The new experiences make a kind of transformation. That's the word here, transformation. So here we are speaking about the journey that you go through your life that makes a great change or transformation in your life. I believe that if you remember, when in the first quarter, the writing topic was to write something like a memoir or a narrative nonfiction, where you are selecting a time or a period of your life that had affected you deeply, and to write about it. It's somehow so close to this topic. Okay. If we just go to the page, or the image of the unit, we will find that we have here two questions. We have two questions here. Why are we drawn to seek new horizons? Okay, first, I want to just, drawn first. What the meaning of it? Drawn, it's the past of draw. And draw here does not mean to draw, it means to make a shape or something. No. Draw here, it means attracted. Why are we attracted? Okay. Why are we drawn or attracted to seek new horizon? Seek? Yes. Seek, it means to explore or you can say discover. So, sorry for this interruption. So, seek here means like try, say it means try, or you can say it means search. So, why are we drawn to seek or to try? We are attracted to try new horizons. Here, new horizons means new fields, new tracks in our life. Okay, so why do you think? Just think about this question. Why are we attracted to seek, or why we're attracted to try new horizons? And then ask, what do we learn when we go there? When we reach this new horizon or this new place, or we start our new experience, what do we learn? Do we learn something or not? Another question, and we are going to find it here in the presentation about the journeys of transformation. Yes, we said what we can learn from the journey. Another thing, do you think that the strengths or the weakness of the person can affect his shape his journey? How do personal strength and weakness shape the journey? You know, of course there's a difference. If you are a strong person or you are a weak person, it will be totally different when you work on shaping your experience or your journey. People who are, let's speak about the weak people, they are going to accept anything, whether the experience fits them or not. So at the end, you will not find an identified shape. You cannot find a shape that has a border that you can name. But the strong person, of course, they accept a new experience, but they have the ability to choose what fits them and what does not fit them. You know, here your journey, anyway, the journey that you are going through, it will have sometimes a straight line, sometimes it will have downs and ups, some curves, like the road exactly. So it will not be the same during this time. The different journeys we have, yes, we have different types of journeys that can transform or change someone. For example, if I talk about my journey, I had the journey, yes, and I told you about it. When before coming to here to this school, I was working in another school in 6 October. And if you ask me if I wanted to leave it, no, I will say to you, no, I didn't want to leave it. I wanted to stay there because I liked there. I like the community, the networking, the group I was dealing with, my managers, my principal, the school, the students there. But when I took the decision to move to Shroq City, of course it would be difficult for me to go there every day because the distance was too long. It may take 2 hours, sometimes more than that. So it would be like a burden. I cannot do this. So I had to resign and to come and apply in this school. And actually after 3 years, I can say yes. If you ask me, do I want to change? I will tell you no, I don't want to change because I have accepted the new experience. I have chosen what fits me. I have rejected, or I have resisted. I have resisted the thing that, or the experience that does not fit me. So right now I'm satisfied. I'm comfortable with my new place or my new journey. Sometimes, yes, according to the third question, sometimes the journey itself, the target of the journey itself, could be more important than the destination, the length, I mean, of the journey. For example, in my old school, or when I was working 6 October, of course, I was working in a type of school that totally different from that one. So now I was asked to come here, so I had the choice to accept the experience, but I went through a long time of learning through courses and studying a lot, digging a lot in things I have never explored before in order to manage to teach this new curriculum in the new way. And actually, thank God, I have learned a lot of things, and I'm still learning too. Suppose if someone came and asked me, now you have the choice to go back to your old school, to your old friends, your old students right now. Do you think I would choose going back? The question, by the way, the answer, it depends on each character. For me, I would say no. Why? Because yes, maybe I still love there, but here I have loved the school here with my colleagues and my students too, and I like the way of teaching here, and I spend too much time in building my experience here. So I cannot choose to go back again. So here the journey is more important than the length of the journey itself. Okay. So any journey, this is the question I asked you. What can we learn from a journey? This question is the essential question of this unit, and this is what we are going to answer at the end of each text. A journey that opens your eye to something new can take place in an instant or over a lifetime. You will read in the following text, or in this text that we are going to choose here, story of an epic journey. These selections present insights into journeys and their deeper meaning. So the texts that we are going to read, they are stories, and they are epic stories. It means that it's like a very old story told about the old character, where it tells about something, a legend happened to them. Maybe not. They are not true stories, but people have believed it, and they kept moving from the old days to right now. But they are called epic because it comes in a form of a long narrative poem that is telling a story. It's not only a narrative story, it's a long narrative poem, and it speaks about important events and the history of the culture that where it comes from, and it speaks about the central character this character or epic hero may be found or not found, no evidence for that, but he has a special characteristic or traits that totally different from any other one, like like his strength or bravery or high birth, his fame. All these things may be over exaggerated, but people already have believed about them. So the stories are going to tell about the journey of some of those epic heroes in a form of what? In a form of a long narrative poems. Okay. Regarding again epic, what does the word epic mean? Word epic is derived from the ancient Greek adjective epikos, which means a poetic story, a story told in a form of poem. In literature, an epic is a long narrative poem which is usually related to heroic deeds of a person of an unusual courage and unparalleled bravery. So he has unusual courage, he has bravery, fame. The epic uses grandiose style to show this bravery and courage. It uses a special style of writing to show this bravery and courage of this epic heroes. Okay, before going to who is Homer, and he is the one who wrote the one of the texts that we are going to read is very essential. Let me take you back to the book again, and actually we are going to skip the launching text. This is not the usual, yes, but because this launching text is an explanatory text, and we have done this text before. We needed to study one more or a new type of writing, which is the fiction narrative, creating or building a story, a fictional story, unreal story out of your imaginary. So we will not need the explanatory text, so no need to study the launch text because it's like a model for the explanatory text. But on the writing session, I'm going to show you some texts are found here in your book that we can use them as a model for the fictional narrative. Okay, I'd like to give you a simple introduction about this time, as long as it's your first time to hear about the Greeks, because those stories are Greek stories written by Greek authors. So let's skip this part and go directly to page 554. 554, this one, yes. And we are going to highlight or underline some lines here. First, we want to speak about the Greek mythology and customs. All aspects of Greek culture reflected belief in the Olympian gods. First, in the first paragraph, ancient Greeks' religion. I think we're going to highlight it all. Let's do it like this and then read it. Ancient Greek religion was based on a belief in many gods. They believe in more than one god. Zeus, this is the name of them, of those gods. Zeus. Zeus was king of the gods. Zeus, he was the king of the gods, and his wife, her name was Hera. She was goddess, and she was beautiful and powerful wife. So Hera was Zeus' goddess. She was his wife. While other gods and goddesses were associated or connected with different aspects of nature, like there was the god of wind, the god of water, of a sky, or human behavior, like the god of hate, the god of love, the god of um, uh, let's say what pain and so on. The most important ones were said to dwell on Mount Olympus. Dwell means to live, to live. The tallest mountain in Greece was the Mount Olympus, where Zeus sat on a throne of gold. Zeus, the king of the gods, he sat on this highest mountain on a throne of gold. The Titans are overthrown. The Titans are overthrown. Okay, we will not highlight here. The early poet Hesiod wrote a mythic account of the origin of the god. That's what we will talk about, the origins of the gods. How did all those gods had origin, started? Okay, according to that origin myth, first there was chaos, a dark empty void, but of chaos came the earth, personified as the goddess Gaia. So first, the beginning was a god named Chaos, and he was the god of darkness, the beginning of the planets. And then out of that came the earth, and the earth was personified or represented in the goddess Gaia. The earth generated the sky. The earth created or founded the sky, personified as the god Uranus, who with Gaia produced the giant gods known as Titans. So Gaia, the god of earth, goddess of earth, along with the god of the along with the god of the skies, both of them have created the giant gods known as Titans. Okay, Cronus, the chief Titan, ruled the universe. This is the name of the god. The chief Titans, he ruled the universe until he was displaced by his 3 sons, and who split the universe among them. Who were they? The first son was Zeus, whom we spoke about. Those, the most powerful of these sons, became the ruler of the heavens. And the second one, Zeus' brother, his name is Poseidon became the ruler of the seas. And the third brother, Hades, became the ruler of the underworld. Move to the new paragraph. So this is the beginning of the gods and goddess. How did they start? How did they become this too many gods? The Greek gods were powerful, but they were not all powerful. It means that yes, maybe they were very strong, but not totally strong. Even Zeus had to bow to fate. Sometimes, yes, it seems that you are strong, but some incidents come, or incidents you meet in your life that make you weak. So they were not all powerful. Also, the gods, another of their characteristics, they were also quick to punish human beings guilty of excessive pride. What the meaning of pride? People who are have over or too much self-confidence. So the people who were guilty of excessive pride were punished by the gods. How can they forgive them, the human? What did human being do to ask for forgiveness? To appease the gods, human beings perform something called sacrifice, which often involve the killing of animals. So they have to kill some animals in order to show sacrifice to get the forgiveness from the god. One of the stories that we are going to read, which is the Odyssey, and the main character name is Odyssey. The Odyssey, main character name is Odyssey, and during his journey he makes several sacrifices to plead for divine aid on his journey home. Divine aid means that a help, aid means a help from the gods to help him through his journey home. So one of the texts that we are going to read is the Odyssey. The main character name is Odysseus. This story or this poem describes the journey of Odysseus going back to home, and during this journey he has met a lot of struggles and obstacles done by the gods because they thought that they didn't listen, and he is had excessive pride. So he had to make this sacrifice to plead or to ask for divine aid on his journey by home. Celebrating the gods. Okay, the Greeks, they believed in prophecy, which they associated with the prophecy. It means predicting the future, which they associated with the god Apollo. So Apollo was one of the gods who was representing the prophecy. In the Odyssey, the story that we are going to read in the Odyssey, Odysseus journeys all the way to the underworld to consult the blind prophet, Teresa. So he had he was blind prophet Tiresias, and he was asking for his consultant. You want to consult him every time during his journey. Who continues to have the gift of prophecy even though he has died. Even after the death of this person, yes, he kept giving the gift of prophecy. The Greeks also believed in myths, which are stories about gods and heroes, that they used to explain the world around them. We have two famous myths, which is the Iliad and the Odyssey, drew on these myths. However, for further generation of ancient Greeks, Homer's two epics, like Hesiod and Theogony, took on the aura of myths themselves. Okay, this is not important. We can talk about this one. This part only draw these myths. However, for future generation of ancient Greeks, both of them were myths, the Iliad and Odyssey, written by Homer. One of the Greek poets. Page 556. 556. Yes, now we are going to speak about Homer, the epic poet. The poems attributed to Homer still influence the literature and culture today. So let's show how strong are these poems. Homer is the legendary poet credited with writing the Iliad and the Odyssey. He meant that he got his the trust of people and believing in him because by writing the Iliad and the Odyssey. These epics, known for their sweeping scope, these epics, and we said epic, what does it mean? It means a long narrative poem. For their sweeping scope, gripping stories, and vivid style, they have captured the imagination for almost 3,000 years. Was there really a Homer? No one can prove his existence with any certainty. They were not sure. Why? Because for no authentic record of Homer's life exists. We don't have any something or any document that prove that he already has exist or not. One thing was known that he was blind. They said that he was blind. Okay, let's skip here and go starting from here. Yes, the details in Homer's epic make clear that the poems were orally composed and that the Iliad was written first, probably some years before the Odyssey. And the two epics differ in style. I mean, the Iliad is single long, highly dramatic narrative, while the Odyssey is episodic and reads more like an adventure novel than a drama. For these reasons, some scholars even speculate that the epics were composed by two different poets, and Homer is one of them. Inspiring poems. The quality of the two epics, we meant by this the Iliad and the Odyssey, the quality of the two epics with which is credited Homer. The ancient Greek revealed that the Iliad and the Odyssey, they recited the poems at religious festivals and had children memorize them in the school. That shows how important are they. The Greek writers and the philosophers who came after Homer drew on the two epics. Their influence spread to Rome and beyond, and they became foundational works of Western literature, even in modern times. Even in modern times, great works from James Joyce's Ulysses to Drake have been directly inspired by Homer's verse. Next page, this is the last thing in the introduction, the epic form. Again, what is an epic? An epic is a long narrative poem that relates important events in the history of folklore of the culture that produced it. It's a central character or epic hero is a larger than life person who embodies traits that the culture values. Um, Typical among those characteristics are physical strength, bravery, high birth, fame, and effective skills as a leader and in a battle. Now he start to speak about those Homer's epic include the following devices. We can talk about them for opening invocation to the muse, where the speaker of the poem just asks the muse of the inspiration, starting the story in midis or in middle of things, beginning after the invocation with action instead of background. Lofty style, elegant language stresses the nobility of the subject. Objective tone, keeping an emotional distance. The poet focus attention on the story itself. Meter, this is how built the poem. Meter or the effects, rhythmic pattern. What does this mean? A strong meter helps the oral poet remember the lines. In the original Greek, the Odyssey uses hexameter or 6 beats to a line, which helps create a fast pace. Epithet, a characterizing phrase for a person, place or thing. Recurring articles are easy to remember and can help fill out the meter. Some examples to Homer's epithets include rosy figured dawn and son of Laertes for Odysseus. This is not important. We can stop here only. Finally, the epic simile, and this is a long comparison over many lines. Such similes were another way to fill out the meter and aid the poet's memory. It helped the poet's memory not to forget it. Okay, thank you very much for your listening. I know it was such a long introduction, but we need to understand their way of thinking before going through their writing. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.